Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. For quite some time, I have personally tried to give a blind eye on the Nyanza belt. But something is happening in Nyanza belt. I don't know whether it is an ODM capture by independent candidates or failure by Raila Odinga's side to give the independent candidates a stake. There are many other things that have always played out, and the 3.2 million votes in the Nyanza belt is a very critical vote to Raila Odinga's presidential bid. And so, the mere fact that Raila Odinga comes from Nyanza is not really a guarantee that everything must be smooth there. It is not really usual that after Raila Odinga's presidential strategy team laid out a Nyanza tour from 13th to 19th, that was abruptly cancelled prematurely, and then Raila turned his way to go to other areas. After Raila was supposed to be in Kisii on 13th and 14th, then 15th, that is yesterday, he was supposed to be in Nyamira. Today, he was supposed to be in Homa Bay, 17th Siaya, 18th 17th Migori, 18th Siaya, then finish up in Kisumu. But last minute intelligence from Raila Odinga's team made him to change that decision and head back to Makueni and to Kambani. Then after Kambani, they're heading with Martha Karua to Central and Northeastern. So that critical visit by Raila Odinga was the first maiden visit with Raila Odinga going there with Martha Karua. So if you listen to my analysis, I maintained that Martha Karua had injected euphoria, energy, and had energized Raila Odinga's bases. There was a bit of fatigue that was sinking in, and it was to get another candidate or such a euphoria for Raila Odinga's bases to be activated. But it seems the battles in Homa Bay, Migori, and Siaya are raking ODM right in the middle. But I want to be very specific. Migori, the governor candidate is Ochila Yako, facing over with Jubilee. It is high octane, but not so much divisive. In Siaya, there is James Orengo with Gumbo. It is high octane, but not so much divisive, because Gumbo is not confrontational. Gumbo is just campaigning and trying to use maybe a rational appeal. In Kisumu, there is Anyang' Nyong'o is facing not a very strong competition, but it's a competition from Obura. I don't know whether Obura also chickened out. The giant in the house is Gladys Genoa Wanga with Evans Odhiambo Kidero. I don't know. It's one of the complications that really is happening. So let us just look at a bit of the Nyanza belt in deep. Then I will explain in details what exactly is the inside friction, or rather the politics of Nyanza, what exactly is playing out. And I don't know whether it is positive or it's negative. So I want us to look at it this way. Gladys Wanga's candidature in Homa Bay is not sitting well with some politicians there. And ODM chairman John Mbadi is on record saying he doesn't want to support Wanga. And at some point he said that he is a national chairman of ODM party, but because he had said bad things about Wanga, he's not going to support Wanga. And I want you to listen to this. Of course, he's speaking in the Luo, but I hope I'm going to put the translation down there. So listen to Mbadi speaking about this.
Hello, launch campaign again. odino ndara secha bit maonge kata ng'ama nyalo kadho gi pesa mine gi monego mine gi omimo no gogo ohala emodhi ohaya gogeche Kisumo okelo thurwa ka nigere maro kono ni Kisumo pek ni ma por pek opek marang'o pek to ting'wa mine mane logi machandore gi migi pesa gi gogo ohala ekong'eni miyo mapek. Halo? Ito nyore kidonje bunge higa boro pok itieko. Mbadi nodonje bunge koro higa 15. Kapok adhie bunge atiyo higa 10 gi nus. Kendo mane pesa. Adonje bunge koro higa 15. Sani an minority leader. Sebedo nyaka assistant minister, office prime minister. An minority leader Msacha oingo Msacha kendo 4,000. To ete nuango ni ndala dek higni 8 gi. Kidhi ng'iyo ode mogero dalane to chalo gimoro nono. Kidhi Homa Bay kende gorofa nie polo mogero motieko gi higa 2. Moro igero kor ot kode. Mana gi pesa mine gi kwano karutu. Kae kiduogo kaendi ni kono ji ni mondo mi gavana. Mano ma Bay County. Kenya.
So guys, that is National ODM Party Chairman, who was the minority leader in the National Assembly. You see, but you will realize that I think candidature of Wanga was becoming a bit an issue, and it's pretty sitting uncomfortable with them, because I want you to watch this snippet. This is the rally that I think the first rally when Wanga was launching her gubernatorial bid. It was attended by who and who's in Azimio la Umoja. Charity Ngilu, CSK Macharia, I think Raila Odinga, and there were people. It is because of how it was organized. It was actually live streamed in the mainstream televisions in the country, and to some extent, I think these politicians might be seeing Wanga as a candidate from the blues, or a candidate who is being fronted, or rather who is being supported. Now, if you look at this video, look at how she held her first launching rally. If you look at it critically, let me explain something. The problem in Homa Bay is also because of Evans Odhiambo Kidero. Evans Odhiambo Kidero has a well-oiled and monetized campaign. Nowadays, there is something called monetization. I think the campaigns has been monetized and is well-oiled. But if you look at the differences between Evans Kidero and Raila Odinga, they are there because at one point, if you remember, after 2013, when Raila lost the general election, Kidero came out and was seen as one who was sabotaging the ODM party, and at one point was seen as someone who was emerging as the de facto Luo Kingpin after Raila Odinga. But then this perhaps did not sit well. However, people from Homa Bay will explain to you that Kidero's wife comes from Tom Mboya's lineage. I think he's the daughter or a sister to Tom Mboya. He's a relative to Tom Mboya. Someone here I know will tell me who is it, how they're related, Karibu. So this politics of the Tom Mboya family and Jaramogi Oginga, these were some of the veterans of the Luo community. So perhaps this is also playing out. And if you see during the negotiations, when Raila Odinga brokered a deal for Oyugi Magwanga to support Wanga, Evans Odhiambo Kidero was not part of the meeting and complained that he was not called on table for negotiations. Now, this is when we talk about an oiled campaign. I wanted to watch this video. This is a video of Kidero talking to a group of youth, and he was telling them that he's going to give them money if they confirm that they're registered voters.
The SMS. Kisa the SMS. Tigo abirio. No. SMS. Is that going? 70000. Kaito. Message indiko niya. Indiko namba kipande ni. Kato hash. Kato igamano nyulie.
So guys, I was talking to, for better part of this week, I've been trying to gather and talk to people who are in these counties of Homa Bay, Migori, Siaya, and Kisumu, and everyone will tell you that the tension is so high that because the last time Raila Odinga was talking to ODM aspirants, he vouched for the 6 Ps. But I think also it is time perhaps for Raila Odinga to drop that 6 Ps push. Because if there's been voter apathy in Luo Nyanza because of 6 Ps, where people think that things did not go right, and at least for the first time, ODM solved one problem of avoiding violence, or rather chaotic nominations, by then measuring on direct nominations. But they should not forget that the issuance of direct nominations at some point was demystifying the call for democracy. And because the percentage of democracy in picking these candidates was down, they should also then just allow then the independent candidates to thrive. And the fear that Raila Odinga was going to campaign for ODM candidates really caused the problem. And that is why there is a lot of tension in Luo Nyanza. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel. Luo Nyanza, the Luo Belt politicians, I think they are trying to craft Raila succession maneuvers. However, I may be wrong on this, but I think it is too early. Because the battles that are emerging, that are now cracking ODM in the middle, are the battles of Raila Odinga's succession. The reason why the likes of these MPs, or rather these politicians, do not want to come on table is because there are some that have then realized that as Raila is coming to the home stretch of its politics, because one thing, if Raila wins the presidency, of course, he will remain the de facto Luo kingpin. However, that will also signify a start of who next. When Raila wins, if Raila becomes president, the Luo nation will start asking a question: who can take over from him? The question of who can take over from him is a question that politicians have started asking. Now, I want to pose this question to people from Nyanza. Do you think they should start crafting succession now? Even though we know that perhaps if they are not careful, then they will be where game is. The issue of ODM being shelled out of Raila's campaigns, I think, is also causing this tension. At one point, I think it was James Orengo and Anyanyong around December, or not during, I think in the run-up to the time Raila was announcing his presidential bid, they were complaining that they were left out of Raila Odinga's campaigns and they were not even being given opportunity to talk. Honestly, the ODM stalwarts must now come to agreement that the candidate is not an ODM candidate. Unlike 2013 and 2007 and 2017, it is for the first time that Raila is going to vie for presidency under Azimio One Kenya Alliance Party. Raila is not going to be on ballot as ODM party. So yes, they have been shelled out, and again Raila has brought in new faces in it, and is in Azimio Umoja. It's already it should project the image of the country. So honestly, with all due consideration, it is not a must for them to be around Odinga. And I think because they've been shelled away from Raila Odinga's campaigns, most of them are now looking for ways of survival. For example, Mbadi is supposed to be part of the team leading Raila Odinga's campaign in Nyanza. Technically, he is not in the mainstream team. He's not in the mainstream team. This has left them looking like orphans. However, the Homa Bay equation is at the center of tension there. Because number one, I might be wrong in this. I don't know why, and I'm wondering, someone can explain. Just get to my comment section and tell us. When do you think that ODM John Mbadi does not want to support Wanga? And number one, when John Mbadi stepped down not even to go for negotiations in favor of Wanga. He is the sitting national chairman of the party. I totally agree. There is the question of whether Wanga is going to deliver or not. One thing, could it be that Wanga is being attacked because she's a woman? I may not take it in consideration because the last time Raila, I think, attended an event in Homa Bay, he went very vulgar against people who are actually undermining Wanga because simply Wanga is a woman. And by the way, I'm told he's married somewhere. She's married somewhere. I think he's in Kano. The husband is coming from Kano. If you go to UDA side, Cecil Mbarire is vying in Embu and the husband is from Teso. But they were so keen to block Raila Odinga's tour there with Martha Karua because with the emergence of Martha Karua, it was a very good optics to boost the candidature of Wanga. And you know, that is already there. But in case they could maybe break some violence scenes where they have Wanga and they have Martha Karua and there is that violence there, it will actually deflate and give Raila Odinga's competitors a room for propaganda of rejection back home. Lastly, the issue of accommodative, non-accommodative negotiations when giving direct tickets. Honestly, a governor seat is a highly contested seat, and ODM goofed by not making negotiations very accommodative. Just very easy. Just the way Siaya's situation was solved by plucking Charles Owino to head back to police. That is already accommodated. Even if in Homa Bay, if you give ticket to Wanga, you will easily accommodate Kidero. Kidero will be accommodated. Even if you go to Migori, Pamela Odhiambo was fighting with Ochila Yako. I don't know that Pamela has gone as independent, but you will still accommodate. I want to feel like ODM party did not have accommodative approach in those negotiations, and because maji yakimwagika huwa hayazoleki, my unsolicited advice to Raila Odinga and the presidential team is, it is time to embrace the independent candidates. I want to read comments from Nyanza. Here, tell me what's happening in the belt.